Hello everyone, welcome to Mac's Workshop again. So I'm up to some scrapping today. So before we start this, just a couple of notes on scrapping in general. So unlike a lot of guys on YouTube that do scrapping videos, I just do it as a hobby. I still work full time, but I like scrapping because I enjoy taking things apart, and it's one of the few hobbies where you actually can get some money back at the end. So there are some guys on YouTube that also scrap full time. That's how they make their living. So how they approach scrapping is a little different than a hobby scrapper, because for them time is more of a concern. If you're a hobby guy like myself, you like to come out in the workshop in the evenings or on the weekend and take things apart. It's very enjoyable. So today we're going to be scrapping some items that normally a professional scrapper wouldn't bother with, but it's a good source of material for a hobby scrapper. If you ever go by and they're demolishing a commercial office or something like that, and they've got a dumpster outside, unlikely that you're going to find very much of the cable or anything, because either the guys that are doing the job take that for themselves, or the company they're working for takes it back and then they sell it for money But what you will find, if you go into the dumpster and have a look, you'll find these boxes where people have just cut the cables off. They've saved the cables, but they're not going to bother taking these boxes apart, right? Just too time consuming. So I was at one of our job sites last week. Just grabbed some of this stuff that was on top, and I thought, well, let's just take it apart and see how much you actually get out of something like this. So stay tuned. So the main thing we're going to get out of this is a copper wire. And then when this is stripped, it's all going to be number one, bright and shiny. So that's our main goal. This aluminum sheathing, that's actually worth saving too. I think they call it LMC or something like that, but it actually pays well. It pays as good or better as extruded aluminum. And these connectors are all die cast. You just got to take the screw out. The screw and the clamp aren't die cast, but the connector is. And a lot of times the lock nuts are. So I'm going to save those two for my buddy Steve there for his melting foam casting. So let's just get started. Let's take these connectors off. Now, if you wanted to, you could save these connectors. Excuse me. They come in handy, but I've got lots of them. I'll put them aside in case I run into somebody that needs them. We'll just loosen these off. Pull that sheathing out. That's the little, they call it an anti-short. That keeps the wire inside from chafing on the aluminum shield. Now what you need to do is make sure this cardboard is out of here when you take this stuff in. They'll actually check it, and they'll downgrade it if that paper coating is still in there. So I just take a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it out. It usually comes out pretty good. somewhere. There it is. So, like I said, this connector body is die cast. This lock ring is die cast. The screw and the clamp are steel. We'll just pull that apart. So that can just go in the shred bucket. We'll put that aside. So there's our first nice piece of bare bright. That's the ground wire and all those cables. So this conduit connector and the lock ring, they're die cast as well, again except for the screw. Another cable coming through the back here. So the box is just going to be tin shred, obviously. So already out of that one box we've got a bit of wire, got some already conveniently stripped for us. So what I'll do is I'll keep going on all this and I'll strip this down and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so I've got all the material processed. I'm going to strip the wire now, and that will turn it into the most valuable commodity that we deal with. Number one, bright and shiny copper. So I'll run this all through the stripper and we'll see what we end up with. Okay, so we got all that stuff processed up. Let's see what we ended up with. It took me about an hour to do it. I was watching a couple of YouTube videos while I was doing it, so it was actually quite enjoyable. So, first thing is our bare bright copper. I've got the weight of the bucket marked on here, which is handy. So 2.3 pounds, and the scale value. So just that little bit is 1.1 pounds of bare bright. Not sure what it's going for. Well, it'll be different. Depends what area you're in, but safe to say it's worth $4 almost no matter where you're at. So that little bit there is a little over $4. So these die-cast fittings, nothing else will get past aluminum for them. So that's a pound of fittings there. So that's 60 cents, give or take. And this metallic aluminum sheathing here, a little bit. It's not even going to register on the scale, so we won't even consider it for our purposes. And if you want to be really hardcore, you can bust these plugs up. There's a certain amount of brass in every plug. So what you want to do is just throw those in the bucket when you got a bucket full. Just take an hour with your hammer and smash them all up, and you'll be actually surprised the amount of brass you get out of them. So we got about $5 worth of scrap for an hour's work. Definitely not going to get rich that way, but it's better than nothing, right? So if you see a dumpster or a skip there next to a place that's being renovated, I can just about guarantee you that's the type of stuff you'll find in there. Unlikely you're going to find a huge amount of salvageable wire. You might find some data cable or something like that, but guaranteed you'll find those boxes. So that's what I got from just 6 of them. So if you had about 20 or 30 of them and take them apart in an afternoon, my opinion, it's worthwhile. So anyways, it's almost like micro scrapping, but not quite. A little more profitable than micro scrapping, just a tiny bit. So as always, please like and subscribe, and I will see you another time.